Afghanistan Life Tac tank. Let's see, made in Afghanistan. Very good. This is $20 as well. This is like this one? Same as this. My mom's going to be really excited.
Yeah. Welcome to Kabul.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I came to Kabul. Look what I got, a gun carpet.
You got a gun carpet. Also, this will fit in my carry-on. This is perfect. This might go on the set, the Rachel Maddow Show set.
There it is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good luck. Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day.
See, you don't have a gun carpet.
I don't have a gun carpet. You know what?
You've even moved on the gun carpet.
$25 I'll give you for that gun carpet right now.
I'm asking you like 5 questions about it. You're still ready to leave. You still can't even grok the fact that I would want to buy it.
I was shocked. I have been shocked. I've never seen anyone buy one of those.
So just like America and everywhere else in the world, Afghanistan has haves and it has have-nots. It has many, many, many more have-nots. But yes, a few major haves. Richard and I visit an upscale neighborhood created in part by American war spending. We've shown part of this footage before. We got a huge reaction to it, but we haven't shown all of it, and that's next. So we're in a neighborhood now called Wazir Akbar Khan, talking about the distribution of wealth in Kabul and the effect of...
There is no distribution of wealth. This is where it's distributed. This is where it ends up. All of the money from contracts and association with the government and association with the U.S. military has ended up here.
Why?
Because this was originally, as you can see, there's no real pavement or anything like that. This was originally just empty land.
Okay.
And when the Americans came in with the Northern Alliance, which was the Allies who against the Taliban, took this land and then gave it away to all their cronies.
Oh, okay. So they created a new war wealth neighborhood out of nothing.
Exactly.
And so we still got open sewers and we've still got no pavement, but we have Rococo
castles,
nouveau riche
that
castles.
rent for $10,000 to $25,000 a month. Because it's a safe area. But here's the irony. Most of the government officials, and these are almost all owned by government officials, don't live in them. They rent them out to foreign companies, contractors, and they live in Dubai or have their families in Islamabad. So they are purely investment properties.
There's a sign right there on that one that says house for rent.
Oh, yes, exactly. And the reason the streets are still unpaved is that these government officials refuse to pay any taxes to the government. They're in a fight. So the government won't come and pave the roads or connect it to any kind of sanitation system at all because the same government ministers won't pay to register the neighborhood.
And so they won't throw their weight around to get their neighborhood taken care of despite that fight because they don't live here anyway.
They don't live here anyway. So you have these large homes, and some of these homes, you see this building right behind you.
That looks like a hotel?
No, they're all private homes.
This is a private home?
It's a private home. It probably has 25 bedrooms in it. And garish colonnades and unusual architectural features. And then they'll rent that out to some Western client, and they'll charge either by the bedroom or by the floor or for the whole thing. And if you were to build, this one is obviously under construction, that's $1 million+ house in Kabul with no paved streets.
America, it's your tax dollars at work. This is the war economy as translated to landlocked Central Asia. We dump a ton of money here thinking that we're paying for our military effort. Everything that goes along with our military effort ends up flooding, or in this case, directing like a squirt gun instead of flooding.
Well, the streets flood. There was one analogy. The streets become rivers of mud.
But the money doesn't go to the country and trickle down and create an economy. It just goes to the elite and to the power brokers who can keep it for themselves.
A warlord system. There is a lot of money in war. Contracting, supplying, shipping, and if you've been in power, you keep those contracts for yourself and you build neighborhoods like this, and maybe you don't even live here, you live somewhere else in a foreign country.
This is what it's like in Kabul. It's the exact same dynamic that we saw in Kandahar, where you're talking with these counterinsurgency doctrine soaked military officers who are incredibly smart and have far-reaching thinking about this sort of thing. And because of that, they can see the basic contradiction at work in what we're trying to do. If the whole effort, all the money and everything is to establish governance, if the whole effort is to establish governance, but all of our money, all of our spending here is only supporting the elite, the warlordism.
It can breed corruption. Just having so much money injected into an economy. Afghanistan is very poor, and it was isolated from the world, except for the last 30 years of war, which was an unpleasant interaction with the world, for hundreds of years. And now you have a totally different scale of economy coming in. Billions of dollars a month. This country never saw anything like that.
But it's going to people who aren't, it's not going to build the country. It's going to people who have private armies. It's going to people who are...
Well, right? Next to giant houses, these streets are not even paved.
Yeah.
I think that gives you an idea of how much these social services are spreading.
Right. You can see, though, why the elites don't want the U.S. to leave, why they don't want the war to end. And the elites are doing awesome out of this.
They're making a lot of money. And you can see a lot of the houses have these screens, like this fencing and the barbed wire. They are sniper screens, so you can move around inside, and they're not going to stop a bullet, but you won't be seen, so it'll be hard to target you. And you'll notice all of the houses have that, because almost everyone in this I think is very typical of the taste and the style.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have these sniper screens. Almost all of them have these sniper screens.
In a neighborhood where you've got something this rococo, this like...
Garish.
You've also got a huge field of open field of garbage.
No services. No service. Each house has its own generator. They take care of themselves, and they're not really connected to the rest of the city. The same way a lot of these officials aren't really connected emotionally or otherwise invested in the rest of the country.
So when you hear the government, when you hear the leadership say we don't want the Americans to leave, we don't want the war to be over.
There is an incentive.
Think about this neighborhood.
There's an incentive because war is a profitable business for many people.
Yeah, and if you're trying to stand up a government funding this instead of actually funding things that work for the people, it's counterproductive.
Well, I mean, it is some projects have helped. Some projects have helped people. We were in poor neighborhoods. They didn't have power before. They have power. But the fact that there are entire neighborhoods, or this neighborhood, which is quite big, of homes that are renting for $10,000 to $25,000 a month, and there's certainly no distribution of wealth.
Right.
I'm not saying that there should be a distribution of wealth, but there is a lot of corruption here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this neighborhood is actually very symbolic of a lot of the problems with this entire war, frankly. And here, next to an incredibly big house, is a open garbage pile. Because no one cares about the common space. It's not anybody's problem. And that's what you see everywhere. You have a giant...
And is this all spread out and ripped open like this? People are going through it to see if there's anything valuable in the trash?
Yeah, I mean, here are some kids right here. They go through it, and it's quite sad. I mean, they'll go through it and pick through anything that can be recycled or used again or of any value.
Yeah.
Metal things or... So in a way, it's own environmental, but it shows there's a lot of poverty here.
Yeah. This corner is like the microcosm of the war. This and this and
these
the
kids.
reason, and us too, because we're here as Americans covering this because of the American initiative here that created the economy that made this all possible.
I saw yesterday driving down the street, not far from where we were today, a giant tinted window, brand new BMW M series, I don't know what series it was, giant BMW, and then in a country that had nothing like that before.
Yeah. That's amazing. I promise we will not continue to be the all Afghanistan all the time cable news show, but it is an honor to have been able to do this reporting, and as you can tell, frankly, now I'm obsessed. I promise we will return to our regularly scheduled making fun of John Boehner and not booking Liz Cheney, no matter how many times we ask, when we get back to Monday's show. Until then, have a great weekend. Good night. One, not exactly programming note for you, but at least a note about our programming. It is really freaking expensive to do a live news show from Afghanistan. To send an anchor, me, and crews and producers all the way across the world to do what we did. I still don't know exactly what I did to deserve this opportunity, the chance to work with the pros I got to work with there, or to spend this much of the company's money, but I could not be more grateful. Getting me there was a combined effort of MSNBC and NBC News, particularly their multiple award-winning correspondent Richard Engel and producer Madeline Herringer. And I just want to say thanks. Also, you guys totally made me look like Michael Dukakis, and next time I'm getting a helmet that fits. So where we are right now is at the governor's compound in Kandahar City. This is the governor's compound. You see people out here waiting to get in at this checkpoint. These are the vehicles that we came in on. But the sort of amazing thing is that this is immediately adjacent to a big, beautiful mosque, a shrine, in fact. This is where Mullah Omar, you remember Mullah Omar of the Taliban, right? The shrine marks the place where he put on the cloak of the prophet, thereby essentially declaring the religious character of the Taliban rule. And it's just sort of a perfect microcosm of what's going on here, to try to be establishing governance that will supplant the theocratic governance that used to be here, that in fact sprung from here and that is still spiritually based here, and trying to do it via, ultimately what it boils down to is American military might. I don't exactly know what counts as incongruous here, but something is incongruous.